Hello and welcome to our next live lesson. This is a Words for Living live lesson, and this one is based around a book called A Place for Plastic, and you can see it just here on your screens. Okay, so this story is about basically plastic pollution in the ocean, and you can see there is a bag there, and there are actually some creatures on it as well. Now, if you're in my class, you may have heard this one being read before, but what we can do is we can recap and we can look at this again and go from there. So this session is designed to enable people who are able to go in a little bit more depth with the type of reading material and the type of activity and the type of story that is associated with it as well. Okay, so all of your support materials, so you will need to have a listen through to this first of all, and then all of your support materials will actually be in the section or in your folder. I'm just going to see if I can get an example of it up for you here. So what we are going to be looking at is this one here. So it's Place for Plastic, write the words of the story. So look at the illustrations from the picture book, Place for Plastic. Next to each small illustration, write your own version of the words which might tell a story about what is happening. So you can use first person from the perspective of the plastic bag, or third person as a narrator of the event. So that would be a little bit as if you were sort of watching a documentary and you had someone narrating for you. You can try and find rhyming words or use figurative language. Now, I'd like you to see if you can actually look up what we mean by that. Remember, if you're not sure, then you can actually put in some questions into the class page, and we'll be able to give you a little bit of support from that. And we are also going to be having a Zoom session coming up where you'll be able to ask us questions. You'll be able to show us your work. We'll be able to give you feedback. Really, really important that we're able to give you some feedback on this and what you are actually doing. So you can see there are a series of images here which are lifted and taken from the story. I will be placing a PDF version of the story into the main folder as well. So if you want to be able to see that, then you can sort of see that to see the original language, the original words that are actually used within this. So I just quickly am making this full screen on here. And so what we are going to do is we are going to have a little look at this story, which is called A Place for Plastic. And here we can see, that's pretty horrible, doesn't it, actually? I wouldn't want to be one of those fish there. So the title page, A Place for Plastic. And you can see there is actually a little plastic pirate figurine there, which is interesting. So, where on earth is the place for plastic? Shopping delivered. This bag's job is done. It's time for a brand new adventure. But where? Where do you think this plastic bag is actually going to end up? Freedom! What a treat for the bag to swirl and glide above the vast open world. You can see all of the stuff blowing out of the back of the sort of bin lorry. Carried on the wind, it reaches a river that snakes through the land and follows the path to the shore. And hopefully you will be able to remember from our work that we have been doing on the water cycle, looking at rivers so far and stuff like that, where actually the river is going to end up. Under the surface of the sea is a world filled with wondrous creatures. Such fun it is to drift with them for a while, but these are not plastic bags and they swim away. Light flickers and fades over a cascade of colour. How beautiful it is beneath the waves. Oh, to be part of the patchwork. A friend breaks free from the surface above and sinks through the cool water. Two twisted plastic arms, a grizzled plastic face, a pointed plastic sword in its hand. Another explorer joined to search for a place to belong. You can see he's got snagged on the plastic bag, can't you? With its new friend in tow, the bag is fished from the water by a flurry of feathers. What a ride! The wind whips and the bird caws, but a bag is no food for a greedy gannet. The pirate may have found its next adventure, but the bag's journey is not over yet. A ripple, then a splash, and a huge beast bursts through the waves. It rises and hangs in the air before crashing back down to the sea. The creature plunges down through the brightly coloured clouds. Here, plastic particles dance in a shoal of their own, but no plastic as large as a bag lives here. The water grows darker, the deeper they dive, the light falls away. The journey goes on, more of the same. There is only the never-ending sea. After an age, the bag rises towards a tapestry of stars. What is that waiting in the light of the moon? A new land to discover and settle? Could this be the end of the journey so long? A place with a purpose for plastic? Oh dear. All journeys seem to end here. Is the adventure over? There is nothing more than this. That's really sad, isn't it? You can see, where is the place for all this plastic? You can see some creatures there, can't you? But you can also see the pirate has ended up there as well. And there's a poor bird that swallowed it. Here the scraps and dregs of the waste of the world smother the suffering sea. This is a plastic place, but not the place for plastic. There must be a brighter future out there, something more to be. Not left in the shallows, ignored and overlooked, choking the life from the ocean. But found and collected, reclaimed and recycled, made use of before it's too late. Is there a place on Earth for plastic? Very interesting question, isn't it? I'm going to leave it on that one there, actually, where they're saying there, is there a place on Earth for plastic? So I want you to have a little think about that. What is it that you think this story, so it's based on facts, it's based on real events, it's based on things that actually happen, but what do you think they are trying to tell us with this story? You know, what's the point that they're actually trying to get across? Okay, so what I would like you to do is we're going to have a little look at that bit. So like I said, I'm going to upload this story to the folder as well. And what I would like you to do is go through it, and you can see if you can actually rewrite it, bearing in mind what it is that we have been looking at here. Okay, so you're basically looking at sort of retelling it. So are you going to be reading sort of in the same style that I did, or are you going to retell it as if you are actually sort of like, the bag? Are you going to do it as a narrator? What style are you going to do it in? It's a little bit of a challenge for you, but I think you can do it. Okay, anyway, thank you very much for joining us on this session. Remember, all the resources that you need, including a PDF copy of the story, are in your folders. And what you'll be able to do is just have a little look for that. And I'll be really, really interested to see what it is that you think about this. And remember, we can give you feedback in our Zoom session. And we will be having our first one of those coming up on Thursday, so keep an eye out for the link to be able to join us. It'd be really good to be able to see you there. Thank you very much, and see you soon.